our following seems to like not give a shit of what our political opinions are. They seem to just be like okay with whatever.
Not our following, but any like I don't know if we have any enemies or some shit. I just always think about like the random person. Like what happens when our followers recommend it to a friend who don't jive with our humor and all that? Like what would they think about it?
Hey guys.
What?
We've been doing this for what? We've been doing this over a year.
Yes.
What enemies do you think we have at the Fear Fiction podcast? Let's discuss all of our enemies. Who do you think?
Well, Mormonism.
Definitely Mormons.
Big Mormon.
Is there a small Mormon?
Yes. Elias.
Oh well, fair point. Susan Wojcicki, definitely.
That's a good enemy to have.
Yeah.
I don't think she knows who we are, but yes.
You say that, but I mean, we did a whole thing.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
Yes. I don't know why, but yes.
Matt Pat. I know Matt Pat is making a video right now theorizing. Are the Fear Fiction podcasts hosts secretly?
He's our sworn enemy. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to help him.
We are, but he doesn't listen.
I would say Melee players. I'm not a fan of them. I'm just going to start listing people I don't like.
Jeff Kaplan.
Jeff Kaplan, Dreamcast enthusiasts,
Activision Blizzard, Secret Lizards.
You know what?
Wizards.
Activision Blizzard, you can get back on my good side if you just make StarCraft Ghost. I know you're never gonna fucking do it.
You realize that they would fuck it up, right?
Them's the terms. Now, I guess they would, yeah. They'd put loot boxes in it and shit.
About 80% of deers, that one person on the Overwatch forums who compared playing a support role to being a black slave.
Oh, that was
in
hard
the antebellum South.
Oh, man.
That was great.
Was so bad.
Why don't
that was great.
Elaborate for our listeners as to that man's point.
So because everyone quit playing Overwatch, let me tell you what's currently going on in it. I have also quit playing Overwatch, so you and I are alike in that everyone has quit playing Overwatch,
right,
except for a handful of tryhards who play a game that they hate and make it worse for themselves and continue to hate it more. That's what happens. They introduced a thing called roll. They call it roll queue, but it's roll lock. You're locked into a roll.
Right.
You can't swap like you used to in between rolls.
So that basically
and they hailed
means
that's a good thing.
That basically means if you pick a healer, you're going to be a healer for the entire match, and you won't be able to change no matter what reasons may come up that you need to. So on and so forth.
Yeah. Hey, we have 2 off tanks and we have no shield. Well, deal with it. You should have queued for tank.
Yeah.
You know what? 2 off tanks can work. Make it work, but it doesn't. That's not necessarily a vibe. That forces me into other things too. So this whole oh no, I don't have to be forced to be a tank anymore thing doesn't really make any sense because you're still being forced to do things. It's just stupider things with less options. Anyway.
Stupider things with less options. The motto of Activision Blizzard.
The motto of American politics.
Oh, goddamn.
So,
politics, am I right, folks?
I was never super into Overwatch, and I didn't even pick it up until you two said, "Hey, there's a free weekend or whatever," or it was discounted.
You bought it on the free weekend, completely defeated the purpose.
So I started, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, you can just switch up your role at any point in time."
Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool. That's something
that is an advertising point for the game.
Yep.
It's the most unique feature, and I was like, I'm taking a break from League of Legends where you can't just switch up all the time. So this actually is pretty cool. And so they took away the one thing that sets them apart from every other MOBA out there. Like, who the fuck thinks that's a good idea?
And
the remaining player base.
Apparently.
Oh, God. I would guarantee you a good section of the remaining player base still don't agree with it, but they can't stop playing.
Correct.
Well,
correct.
And to tell you what, I've gone back to League of Legends. So, there you go.
And that's the thing is, you're locked into these roles, and that means that if something isn't working,
you're fucked.
So like the argument they would use is like, well, you were playing shield tank and then your 2 damage dealers weren't doing enough damage, so you swapped to being a damage dealer. Now you have 3 damage dealers. Isn't that so terrible? It's like, why is that terrible? If the rest of the team is really sweaty enough to want a shield tank, one of them will go shield tank. You have options.
At the height of GOATs, when the standard thing was 3 tanks and 3 healers, so that nobody ever fucking died on your team. Mm-hmm. At the height of that, people were still doing shit like picking 6 DPS and completely rolling the fucking GOATs team, in certain scenarios and different things like that, just in, casual, not pro level play. So it's like nothing was required.
And it was still, it was still getting, wrecked in the highest level of gaming with like quad DPS, right. Shanghai Dragons, pooping on one of the best GOATs team that ever goated a GOAT with 3 supports and 3 DPS. But the issue is that the player base got it into their heads that if they didn't have 2 support, 2 damage, and 2 tanks, then that was just throwing. It was throwing unless it was GOATs. But otherwise it was throwing. And in reality, it was just them, the Overwatch player base, being very easily tilted for no reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they were like, well, we can't have our player base being stupid and getting tilted for no reason. Better implement this thing to... It's like, and then it actually, a lot of people, it's like this weird placebo effect where it worked on them. They're like, oh, cool, now we have 2-2-2. We have a balanced team, even though you can have like Symmetra Sombra and like no direct engagement. It's like, nothing's dying, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No one can protect anyone. What is happening?
Slight segue here, but I'm just looking at the comments of our latest episode, which is really, really good, and you should watch it. It's called Uncle Old Spice's Dirty Documents. But there's 2 really good ones. We have Blake Gilbert, who says the Milwaukee Protocol is when you have to send the weirdest VHS you own to Mike's Taklasa. Which
is great, yeah.
Is absolutely correct.
Who is that?
That is Blake Gilbert.
No, who's Mike Swastika, you said?
Yeah, that's what I said. Mike Swastika, Red Letter Fascist.
What's Red Letter? I never heard of that.
Oh, of course.
Hey guys, it's me, Mike Swastika.
Of Red Armband Media.
Now some of you have got it in your head that I'm a Nazi. And let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. I am a Japanese schoolgirl Buddhist.
The swastika is found in many different cultures, let me assure you.
He's running for president? Is that what I'm getting here? My name is Mike Swastika.
Pete
latest Democratic candidate, Mike Swastika.
CNN really thinks that he has a chance.
What are the planks in his policy?
He's really, really into the arts programs for schools, explicitly about the swastika and its appearance throughout history.
He's very big on painting, but the thing is,
yes,
I think that we should come up with the pillars of his, thing, but I think there should be 3 columns, in his thing here, like in his platform. So that would be like number 1. What would be the other 2?
Well, the First Reich is that. The Second Reich is,
I know. Legalizing assisted suicide. So if you want to kill yourself because you completely failed.
And he sends it to, very, very Jewish communities like La Jolla, California, and certain parts of New York.
Mike Swastika, everyone else's opinion on this stage says that they will appoint justices that support Roe v. Wade and are pro-abortion. But you have not made your stance clear. What is your feelings on abortion? Well, let me make this perfectly clear. I am all for recycling, and that's going to be part of my abortion platform.
God damn it.
Sir, what are you doing?
What, sir, Mr. Swastika, Mr. Swastika, candidate for president of the United States of America, what is your opinion on the prison camps at the U.S.-Mexico border? And Mr. Swastika, I do want to let you know I can tell that you're ejaculating right now.
Mr. Swastika, are you Native American? Turns directly to Warren and leans up really close to the mic and says, yes.
I I'm 100% Native American. I'm also 100% black and 50% 100% gay.
Mm-hmm.
The swastika shows up in Apache lore quite often, as you see.
Yes. As you can see, here it's 4 eagle wings.
What tribe do you hail from? Well, I'm part of a small indigenous tribe that you can find in the northern part of what you now call New Mexico. We were the Nazis. It's not the one you're thinking of. It's spelled with an X in there somewhere. I can't remember.
I come from a small tribe. We lived on the land, and we lived near this lake right here. It's you may know it by this name, but we know it as Lake Wannablitzapolak. Oh God. Anyway, so Overwatch swastikas. Oh my God, they should add a Nazi hero.
Isn't that's Doomfist?
Yeah, isn't that like?
No, he can't be a Nazi. Come on now.
Dude, that is what he is.
Well, okay, let's see. The Mussolini invaded Ethiopia. Ethiopia is in northern Africa, so northern Africans can be fascist. So there is a historical precedent.
All right, let's get off of the subject. That's a little too edgy there. Let's talk about.
I thought you were going to say a little too dark.
God damn it!
I want to. Can we write the fan fiction where Captain America fights Doomfist?
Yes.
Ooh.
But
that would actually be a good movie.
I want to get off the subject. I want to get off such an edgy topic. Let's talk about one of the other people of color in Overwatch, the terrorist Reaper, the international terrorist.
Say Sombra.
Sombra's not really
the thief. Yes.
What is
Sombra?
Sombra?
She's a digital terrorist.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Don't you
not
wish?
All terrorists...
I will not have my waifu for a game I don't play besmirched.
It's not a besmirchment if it's a fact.
God damn it! All I'm saying is that we need to build a firewall to keep her out.
What if that's part of Overwatch lore? Is just
God.
we gotta build a firewall to keep Americans out of our cyberspace.
Can someone please tweet Trump and say, what are you doing about the firewall to protect America's cybersecurity?
We're going to put it out. They need to rake the leaves.
I want to see what he says to that.
Well, what's a positive? This is getting kind of a little too questionable here. Let's come up with a positive Overwatch character who's a person of color, like Lucio. Lucio's very positive. He's very
is the whitest motherfucker in the game.
Listen. Lucio is on the team. He's on the good guy's side. He stole his Okay, Symmetra. She's part of an evil corporation that wants to bulldoze slums and
You know what I just realized?
Blizzard is racist.
Well, that obviously, but May.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Concerned about global warming?
Global warming. And their new album.
The Chinese invented global warming?
That sounds about right.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
She somehow walks around fucking Egypt in a goddamn,
She's fucking Egypt. She's fucking all of Egypt right now.
When you're that fat.
It's unfortunate because Paprika actually played a pretty decent May, but she doesn't play either because she's also she stopped for a month and then Roll-Lock happened and she came back and then came into my office and was like, "What the fuck happened? Why can't I play anything else?"
God damn it!
Oh
no,
here.
No, that's the funny thing is people are acting like, no, this is a popular decision. The Overwatch development team said that people like the decision. Even though they didn't release numbers at the end of the year like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let me go to alexa.com
don't
site info.
Don't. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Let me go to alexa.com /site info /playoverwatch.com and look at the traffic for playoverwatch.com, the official Overwatch site. Oh my God. Oh, it's so bad. Oh no.
The numbers are so high. It's just skyrocketing. You know what's funny, though, is the same weekend that Roll-Lock was introduced in the game officially, they actually had a free weekend for Siege, and I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Six Siege's numbers over the same period of time have just been steadily increasing. Not like a giant bump, there was like a bump when Rolluck was introduced. Correlation, causation, not the same thing. But
Sure.
like the game just keeps doing right by its community over and over again.
Damn.
And it's crazy that if you give people what they want, people will play your game and buy your loot boxes.
But you say that they're doing well, but how are they handling diversity? Like, when they have a character...
Way better than Overwatch.
Oh, okay. But when they have a character who's from another country or has a different lineage, different ancestry, do they make it so you really, 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 really can fucking tell that they're not white? like in a really overly kind of simplified, almost racist way?
Tachanka a little bit, and that's what's great about them.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, they're pretty subdued.
Okay.
Dokebi is pretty goddamn Korean, but she's also really cute Asian girl. So like, who cares?
Yeah, because I just always think about Symmetra is one of my favorite characters. I prefer original Symmetra because I love broken, cheesy, bullshit. But
Symmetra 2.0 was the
yes,
best.
Symmetra 2.0 was great. But the thing is, I really like Symmetra and everything, but I always have to laugh when they have her voice lines in the game where she's talking to somebody and she's going, "Common street rat," and I'm like, the fuck is this, Aladdin? Jesus Christ, Blizzard! What the fuck? No! Not cool.
This begs the real question. When we all gonna play 7 Days to Die together? Because there ain't nothing as fun as walking into a goddamn building and a zombie bear falls through the ceiling and one-shots you.
Yeah.
And scares the shit out of you, by the way.
Yeah, it's full of jump scares, like every Hollywood movie.
That's the weird thing, though. Like, this is the one place I can appreciate jump scares. You walk into a supposedly abandoned house. You know zombies are probably somewhere. You can hear them, but then they just bust out of, like, closets and other areas that aren't really hidden. You just don't expect it. It's strangely genius in that that's the only way you can actually do an effective jump scare.
I like how Dead Pallet is quiet because he's like, I wanted to play all these other games, and it's like, well, I can't run them, so.
I was like, hey guys,
you guys want to play Crisis 7?
I'm like, hey, I want to play Siege, and Slime Beast is just like, taking my computer to the repair shop. That was a bad idea to try to install that.
Have you ever gotten this pop-up where your computer just says, fuck no? Okay.
Kill me!
Kill me. By the way, I dropped Play Overwatch's stats in the chat, if anybody didn't see it.
No, I saw them.
I actually didn't. Let me look at that.
Look at that. Look at that end.
The best part is that their deal with Twitch is over, and now they're going to YouTube.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, somebody said I was talking about YouTube dying. YouTube, is like in its death throes, and they were like, "No, it's not. They just purchased the Overwatch League." I was like, that's like cramming a trash can into another trash can to throw it away. Like,
gotta make this trash can smaller. Okay, I will. That's half correct. YouTube is not dying. It is just courting stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
So it is killing off and shoving away everything that made it great, which is independent creators, interesting content, experimental content. And it is fully embracing the Fallon show. That's what it wants to do. That's where it wants to get all of its views. So that's the direction of YouTube. It's not going to die anytime soon. It's just not going to be a place where you can find interesting shit, except for us.
It's just too big to fail. That's all.
No, absolutely. No one else can compete with the model of gigantic hosting site for video content, which takes a lot of server space and a lot of money, and also manage to retain advertisement for some type of revenue.
Nobody can compete with Google. It's almost like it needs to be split up or something. I don't know.
Good luck.
Invest, maybe invoking some sort of antitrust laws that are on the books that need to be invoked.
That haven't been invoked in like the past 60 years. Yeah.
Do you remember when they did it to Microsoft, way back? Or
oh God, what was that? 85?
I don't know. It was at some point long ago.
Yeah,
the government was like, Microsoft, you control too much of computers.
That's
nowadays. That's like
if I was on the
so
DNC
funny.
panel, that's what I would say. I'd be like, hey, you guys gonna enforce antitrust laws, and just like watch as all of them would be like, the what?
What's an antitrust law?
Antitrust? Is that where you're against trusting people? What? And just leave.
Listen, I don't know. I've heard a lot about colony collapse with the bees, but I'm going on the record. I trust ants. Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry if that offends
for
anybody.
everyone who owns property, which I know is probably 0 of our listeners.
Whoa, rude.
Sorry, like fucking I don't either.
Okay, trailer trash. Listen
owned
up to
by
what a
the
Bisme has to
state.
say.
Get some bees. You can order like a whole colony with a queen, and you can set it up in the backyard. You can have people come and tend to it yourself. That's what's going to save the bee population. So go do that. If you own property, please keep bees.
Hey everybody, Bobby bee seller here, and I'm here to sell you a hive of bees online. And guess what? Boom, comes with the fucking queen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, get a queen all up in your beehive.
And before you all say, "Oh, Abysme, you environmental sap," no, it's so honey can keep being made to make the mead that I drink so much. Sorry, I'm on my 4th scotch right now, so
Honey good.
It's been a long week for Abysme here. He had to work very, very long today.
Abysme has been making his own honey. He's been flying around
in
the
the
costume.
back.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. So we have to like look into this weird business venture that you started, Michael Swastika or whatever your name was.
Yep, no, that's correct.
It's like, yes, I'm an advocate of bee box. Bees delivered right to your door.
I mean, it technically does come in a box, so this is true.
Oh, bee box. We guarantee at least $25 worth of bees in every box.
Subscribe to FearFic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.